Huh? What was...
Whoopsie. Oh, what are you doing? You're just letting her get away.
Yeah, well, the plan's already in its final stages. What's the problem? Does it even matter what happens here? It's not like it would change anything.
Maybe. But you have no reason to let her live either, do you?
Hello everybody, Megazardx here, back at it again to give you all another very exciting video today, and yes, it is not a drill. I am here to give you all my episode 9 review of a certain scientific Railgun tea, and this time it's called Kozaku Mitori. And if you hadn't already watched my episode 8 review of a Railgun tea, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner and check that video out, and then come back over and check this window. But man, oh gosh, so we got episode 8 last week for the dub. I had no idea we were getting episode 9 for the following week. And literally the day after I launched my episode 8 review, then they dropped out episode 9. I was like, well, gosh darn, giving us less than like a 24-hour heads up though, but or at least for me personally, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I was like, dang, I was excited to get the next new episode. I didn't think it was gonna come out this fast though. So yeah, that's pretty cool though. So you know what, within this episode, you know what, it wasn't like a lot of huge major things kind of going on, but it's more so like a lot of side things and sort of kind of plot building that is going to play a much bigger role in like basic, like kind of in the warming up phase, but when that sucker punch comes at like the peak of the climax as we're trying to kind of slowly building up towards it though. So basically they're laying out a whole bunch of plot though, but you know what, there's a lot of different things I got to say within this whole entire episode. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive up into this though. So let's go ahead and dive straight up into this episode review of a certain scientific Railgun tea. Like most episodes of this franchise, episode 9 has a lot going on, though in this case it's mostly little pieces of the bigger picture than any major events. Still, that approach gives all the major cast members roughly equal amounts of screen time. The safest roles this time around go to Kuroko and Uehara, who spend their appearances first in their judgment branch and later in a records keeping place called Bank Control Center, all investigating the girl who held Uehara and Misaka's mother hostage. Her name, which is also the episode title, finally formally comes out as Mitori Kozaku, and unsurprisingly, she is someone who is sent to reform school for terroristic actions, but is now supposed to be dead. Now, more interestingly, she actually doesn't seem to be working for Kihara Gensei. That raises the question of who arranged for her to get out of the reform school and make it look like she has died, or what her true role is in this whole entire scenario is. Gensei is clearly going after the base of operations for Shokuhou where the Misaka clone is recovering, and apparently where something else very important to Shokuhou is located as well. So the real question is, what is Mitori after? There's a lot still to be revealed here. Now, on the other hand, a little later in the episode, Saten also gets plenty of screen time, especially considering that she's the most unpowered regular character in this whole entire setting. And her talent for getting into trouble hasn't changed one bit, has it? She never seems to fully appreciate that Academy City has a very dark side and she's best off not probing into it, especially with Kuroko and Misaka are around for backup. Frankly, when the woman came in and saved Saten and then turned around and smacked her on the head for her almost getting herself killed was letting her off easy, let's just be honest. And she also encountered Toma as he was doing a scavenger hunt in an event that he was not shown in doing in a certain Magical Index Season 2. Hence, that places that the current line of events of this arc after the end of the Orion Thompson / stab sword incident, possibly even the next day, but definitely in the gaps between episodes 13 and 14 of that season. Now, Misaka and Misaki naturally get the biggest chunk of attention, and I must say, The fact that Misaka managed to somewhat be slightly convincing being dressed as a security person was was pretty interesting, though that did not last that long, and at least she looked good in that outfit, I must say. And her wearing those sunglasses just looked pretty cool in my eyes, to be honest. Surprisingly, I am shocked that the security guy she ran into didn't think to question her just purely based on her age instead of, what unit she was associated with, because she clearly looked way too young to play a role as in a security role. Just kind of let that sink in for a moment though. But once Misaka and Shokuhou managed to rendezvous at a convenient point, it was finally time for them to encounter Gensei. Or so they thought. Gensei's stunt with the double was pretty slick, but also predictable when he seemed to get captured too easily. So this was the first time that we had seen Shokuhou nearly panic, so that again raises questions about what she is protecting. It's also interesting to note that Gensei was smart enough to place a double in Shokuhou's reach to play bait and leave her a message by talking to the guy about something that he clearly didn't understand, but knew that the message was going to reach Shokuhou because of her mind reading ability. So after that moment, Misaka and Misaki got in the car and they raced off, heading to a location that, based upon the message that Gensei left for Shokuhou, she was like, oh shoot, most likely he's heading to location X, and they started driving off as fast as possible to try to get over there, which most likely, based upon the way how the episode ended, probably was in the location where that Misaka clone is that she was trying to keep for safekeeping. He's basically rushed off to that location. That's where the episode basically implied where he was heading to, and that's where the episode ended though. So overall, I gotta say, this episode was pretty good, and it as I said earlier in the review, there wasn't like anything super major in this, but it started to place a lot of different seeds throughout this episode in terms of, them trying to do the research on Kozaku Mitori and figuring out what kind of angle is she kind of working, while also at the fact of the matter that we get to see different side of Shoko. We hardly ever seen this girl panic. She always managed to stay sort of kind of calm, cool, and collected, unless there's some kind of like funny moment like in the last episode where she rants with Misaka or something like that or whatever though. But that was totally uncharacteristic of her though. But I wanted to take this one little tiny moment to kind of share some thoughts that I personally saw within the next episode preview for episode 10. So in the preview, there's a character shown with a young Misaki in the next episode preview who looks very suspiciously like a Makoto clone but acts differently. And the episode being called Clone Dolly most likely is a reference to the famous first ever clone sheep, only furthers that impression. Could she perhaps be the first of Makoto's clones? And there's also the matter of what the mysterious exterior project mentioned is. A lot of big truths should be revealed in the big flashback next episode, and I am personally looking forward to this because we saw a little glimpse of this where there was like one little image within the actual opening itself where you got to see like a younger Misaka, which I'm pretty sure that wasn't actually like our Misaka, it's probably a Misaka clone, a young Shokuhou, as well as a young Mitori, or something that looks sort of kind of similar to Mitori. Still got that purple hair and everything though. So I'm feeling like it's something relating with that, and it's between those three-ish kind of characters that we're probably going to start to do a little bit of backstory on, and now we're going to start to see why Shokuhou is the way how she is and why she's sort of kind of invested into the sisters, which they sort of kind of teased, but we hadn't fully saw the full extent of it. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see how things play out within the next episode though. So I'm really looking forward to it though. But that's pretty much it in terms of my review and my sort of kind of like my little thoughts and predictions about the next episode 10 though. But let me know down in the comment section down below, what all did you think about this episode as a whole though, and just just leave your overall thoughts and impressions of what this episode kind of left you with and what all you might be potentially expecting within the next episode though. But that's about it for this review though. So if you really like this review, make sure to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell to be notified on whenever my next review for a certain scientific railgun tea happens between now and whenever that release date actually happens though. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.
Now then, if you're reading these memories, I'm sure you understand what's happening. The fact that you're there with him right now means that you can't possibly be you-know-where. And I wonder if exterior will be safe without you there to watch over it. Misaki Shokuhou.
Wait up! Shokuhou!
For it! Get me there now!